Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Politics galore. We shall be looking at a political story today. No doubt you also heard that the PDP's numbers will be swelling because a party, ZLP, that is Mimiko's Zenith Labour Party, has resolved to join with the PDP. Effectively for, quoting their language, paraphrasing them, in order to rescue the country from misrule and set it on a path to progress. So they've joined the PDP. The members across 18 local government councils of Ondo State, they've all joined the PDP. Well, my guest this morning is Mr. Liborous Oshoma, lawyer and political affairs analyst. Thank you, as always, for coming on, Liborous. And we shall be we shall be linking up with Mr. Eni Akinsola. Mr. Eni Akinsola, close, associate of former Governor Mimiko, and, of course, national chairman of ZLP. He's a media consultant. Okay. Good morning to you, sir, Mr. Akinsola. Okay. Well, everything is good. We know we have you there. I just hope that you can hear us. Liborous, to kick off from our studio while we're sorting out the matter there. Interesting news, a boost. There's a lot going on in PDP right now. Yeah. On a different level. But this latest news, let's just look at this. This boosts the fortunes of the PDP?
Yes, it does. It's good for them because a party where the sitting governors are living, you would need to also reach out, extend your dragnet to reach out to people you can reach out to. No matter how unimportant some of us would think they are, for somebody like Mimiko, who was a former governor in the Southwest, and also by the slim margin, if not for the politics that played out, he probably would have been able to install a successor in office. And so with all of that, he is not a pushover in the politics of the Southwest also. So it's a plus for PDP, but you see them, the more I see them talking to people who, members, I think they also need to sit down in-house and also put their house, completely in order, because
the PDP house that has been joined by ZLP.
Yes, because the PDP house, every day you hear this party, these members leaving, you hear some members wanting to join. Just between last year and this year, the governor of Ebonyi State left, governor of Cross River State left. No matter how irrelevant or infinitesimal we think Femi Fani-Kayode is, his nuisance value, is something that even the PDP will still have made do with.
So that expression is yours entirely.
Yes, it's mine. It's mine.
He also knows. We don't share or endorse it on the program.
No, he knows. Even Femi Fani-Kayode knows that he has nuisance value, and which is what a lot of political parties or politicians, including the APC, are cutting now. That's it's like in football. You say, okay, this player is not too good, but he has a nuisance value, and which can demoralize the opponent. So that's why you saw the.
It's okay. It's okay, honorable. It's okay.
So for PDP,
but I think I'm sure there's a lot more that you're going to say. But let me try and get Eni Akinsola in as well. So good morning to you again. I hope the connections are fine now.
Just hope so. I'm on. I can hear you.
Okay, that's clear. That's good.
You should stop looking at his TV.
That's good. But okay, so I can see that you're, watching your TV that seems to be above you. But if you could look into your device, in looking into your device, we're good now. So the viewers now have the impression that you're looking at them. They would have been wondering, say, well, why is he looking us corner eye? You're not looking them corner eye. So thank you again for coming on.
Hope I'm looking at you well now.
Now
Thank you
you're
very
looking
much.
at us well, directly. No corner eye again.
Good,
Well, I just, you are quite close, I understand, to Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, former governor and now national, the national chairman of Zenith Labour Party, that has now decided to move en masse into the PDP. That's tell me about the thinking behind that, from where you stay, from your observation of the politics in Ondo State.
Now, two quick ones. Dr. Mimiko is now the national chairman of the Zenith Labour Party. He was until yesterday national leader. And what happened yesterday was a decision by the Ondo State branch of the Zenith Labour Party to team up with the PDP. So I am close to Dr. Mimiko. Worked together with him for years, and though I'm no longer a spokesperson,
yes,
he has been my leader and a dedicated partner. He has been a friend and somebody I share a lot of things with. So I can, without speaking for him, have an insight into his mind. And on that account, I would say that what we are saying is realignment of forces to rescue Nigeria from the current era. And as we go along, I will provide the details of the current era and the possibilities portended by a PDP that is restructured, a PDP that is realigning forces, a PDP, as your other speaker said, that is solving internal problems and win network individuals into its fold.
Okay, interesting. Now, as you said the ZLP, and I take the point you made that because the deed is now done, he is no more the national leader or national chairman of ZLP. But I wanted to clarify, the Zenith Labour Party exists elsewhere but in Ondo?
Yes, it does. It does. The Zenith Labour Party has representation in all states of federation. As we speak, the Zenith Labour Party is running elections in a number of states. They have a candidate who is doing so well. That's what I can say for now. So it's not as if it's a party that is known to Ondo alone, but because of the work of Dr. Mimiko and the roles he has played, leaving comfort zone to take on challenging risks in politics, that's why we see more of Ondo and him in the Zenith Labour Party.
Okay. All right then, Eni. Now, Liborous, coming back to you touched on the house cleaning, whatever, maintenance going on in the PDP right now. As you know, there's a problem. There's an issue. Let me say there's an issue with the leadership.
Yes, national issues, state issues,
you know, all over the place. And so that this is the time that a political party decided to, as it were, fold and join forces. Again, what do you see this as a strategic? Because it might have been anybody else or other people might have been apprehensive, but I think Eni spoke about taking calculated risks or something like that.
For some of us, we see politicians as people who, even if they are in other parties, it's obvious, it's a notorious fact that we have two major political parties in Nigeria, the APC and the PDP. And every other party is, we'll call them fringe parties. You know, they are like platforms where candidates,
well, the owners of those parties or members of those parties will not particularly like being referred to as fringe.
Deep down in their mind, they know. Deep down in their mind, they know. That is why in the build-up to general elections like this, you see alignment and realignment. So once you are pushed out from the major party, you look for a fringe party, you know, to rebuild depending on your political strength. And Mimiko is somebody that had done that before. You remember he left the PDP, moved into Labour Party, and built Labour Party to a national party. And then when Labour Party was almost becoming a force to contend with, it became like an alternative. He left Labour Party, moved back into PDP, and then back to Zenith Labour Party. So they are fringe parties. They are fringe parties, and for some of us who had been watchers of events, we never saw Mimiko as exiting PDP. It's my opinion.
Okay, this is your personal take.
Personal
because
take.
Frankly, everything you're saying on here is really your personal take.
Yes. You know? A lot of, before this move, while I had a discussion with some persons who are also political observers, and they had said, look, in the build-up to election, that what PDP needs to do is to try and reach out to some former members that had left, you know, who were aggrieved over issues that had left. And I think that is one of the steps they had taken now, by reaching to one strong former member in the Southwest, which is Mimiko. And so by the time you've reached out to Mimiko, and then there are other possible persons also, somebody like Ladoja, even though Alawakala, even though you can see that those people are maybe in either APC or some other what I call fringe political parties, but you, as the build up to the general elections, you still see, you know, these people trying to, the two major parties, the dynamics will be moving, even in the north and the south, and it will go round like that. But how well they are able to keep, you know, everybody together, you know, it's a different kettle of fish. Like presently, as we speak, you have a leadership crisis at the national, where you have, I think, about 2 governors supporting the outgoing, let me use that word, national chairman, who's been suspended and not suspended. And then you have other governors on one side. You have my state governors, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, also battling for survival in the PDP that he was pushed into just in the build-up to his election. So that's another
that he elected to join.
He was pushed into. He was pushed away from his party.
Oh, okay.
So that's another issue altogether. How well PDP manages that one also, you know, it's something that we need to look out for.
Okay, Eni Akinsola, coming back to you, the dynamics going on. Give me your take on now. That is to say, the decision to go now. You might also have a take on fringe or no fringe party or that kind of a thing. But you said you might go into some of the philosophies behind this move. They talk about a need to rescue, as it were, the country. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Now, I will say, underlying this movement is a decision to rebuild, to rescue. Rebuild the PDP with all existing stakeholders, work with all that are within and those that are outside the party, bring them into the fold, and rescue Nigeria. And I will ask this question of you and our listeners at home. How many of us are comfortable with the way things have been run in Nigeria? How many of us? How many of us are comfortable with the state of insecurity? How many of us are comfortable with the rising cost of almost everything, from water to salt to almost air? How many of us is comfortable to the obvious nepotism that is demonstrated at every twist and turn? How many of us are comfortable with the fact that our youths cannot express themselves without being attacked here and there? How many of us are happy with the Nigeria that we now have? We are not happy. And we have been observed situations closely, discovered that, unfortunately, there are 2 major political parties that can do things now, the APC and the PDP. I say so because it would have been better if we have plurality of options. But what we are stuck with as a nation is that these 2 major political parties are in pole position to contest for power and to affect the lives of citizens. And having observed, having dissected the realities of the political parties, we have decided to pitch them to the PDP. Now, to say that a crisis in parties is not new. Just about 2 weeks ago, in Lagos alone, there are 3 factions of the APC. In Lagos alone. In other states, 2 factions. In several places. So there are issues. But the PDP has the advantage of being the party that is disadvantaged, if you don't understand what I mean. Disadvantaged by the fact that we are not in power. So we have the lesson of the past to learn, correct the mistakes of the past, and build on the weaknesses of the current era, because the current era is wobbling, is fumbling, is almost running this nation aground. And we cannot afford to sit down at the sidelines and watch things drip down any further.
Okay.
That is why we are joining forces
with the PDP. Spoken, quite frankly, like a true opposition. I mean, this is, as it were, the mantra of the opposition, when they're entitled to it. That is not the way that the ruling party sees it. In fact, as you know, acceptance might be another issue. As you know, the ruling party is saying that there have been marked changes. There have been marked changes from when they come on. I don't know why you're laughing, Liborous, but it's part of it. There have been marked changes. I use the word changes. They have even talked about improvements, which is angering some people.
Improving from where we
Eni is saying it from the point of view of opposition.
That's why if you listen,
which is what it is all about.
If you listen to Eni, that's why I said it's almost as if they never left PDP. He's just between yesterday and today. He's so absorbed in PDP now that they want to rebuild. They want to rebuild, and that's why when I listen to politicians, sometimes it is good to realign. These fanciful, fantastic words: restructure, rebuild the party, and then to rebuild Nigeria. If PDP, with all sense of humility, if PDP had been rebuilding Nigeria, we wouldn't have, found ourselves in the catastrophe that we find ourselves today with the ruling political party. Let's tell ourselves that truth.
Before they lost it to APC.
If people were angry with the style of governance, the attitude, the methodology, and the lackadaisical attitude of PDP in government, and I hope they have learned their lesson. But for me, really, the major issue is the Nigerian people. Here you have politicians.
Sorry, Liborous, thank you very much, because that was where I was going to bring it to. Say, look, it's their prerogative. They see it the way they see it. They say that the country needs rescuing.
Exactly.
That's the opposition's viewpoint.
For me,
but I was going to say, at the end of the day, the people that you spoke about is what reminded me that you've got to present all of this to the people.
Fantastic.
The people in Ondo and elsewhere must see it from your point of view.
The people, if not that the people are so laid back and far removed from what is happening. Yesterday, I was having an interaction with somebody and he was talking. I said, for me, I will encourage people to come out and participate in the process, join political parties and then vote. And that's the way you can have a say in government. And the one man said, look, if you don't restructure, there won't be voting. And I'm like, you already agree that the two major political parties do not have solution to the problem. And so why don't you participate in the process by voting, look out for the good people amongst them and vote them into office so that they can actually come and do that restructuring instead of sitting down and waiting for a messiah from nowhere to come, just through a magic wand and everything will be El Dorado. And that's why you see the politicians keep oscillating between this party and the next party, and then using the same template, the same slogans. When APC came, APC said they want to come and rebuild. They want to come and rescue Nigeria from the doldrum, from the darkness, from the pits that the PDP was pushing it into. And now, it is even worse than PDP left it. So PDP also now is telling you, we want to come and rebuild. We want to come and take it over. We want to come and take it to that zenith height. That's where the people need to sit down now and actually ask themselves, how do we truly push the country to where we want it to be and not leave it to these ding-dong affairs that we have?
Well, politicians is what they do. I mean, they bring it all before us, we the people, at the end of the day, to give them approval or not, and that's a ballot affair.
We must be involved to be able to give approval.
Okay. Elder David, good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, sir. Yori.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
God bless you. Please, I want to make my own contribution.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. As for the PDP, they were there for 16 years. 16 years they were there. Nigeria have tasted it too. But let me tell you, whether you believe it or not, Nigeria have not forgot what they did for 16 years. They are not a challenge. They are not alternative to APC. Mark it down. Because even the same language they were speaking when they were defeated is the same language they are speaking now. Let us wait and see for 2023. They will equally be defeated. So it shall be in Jesus' name. May God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you for calling in, Elder David. Eni Akinsola, coming back to you with the point about the philosophy, the need to rescue. Many people, I'm sure yourself included, sort of admit that PDP made mistakes, and that's what ended.
And they have not apologized for those mistakes.
And that's what ended with losing the general elections. Are you sort of certain? Can you say that with a clear conscience that PDP is about to now confront this issue and make amends so that, as Elder David was just saying in there, or implying in there, it's not more of the same that PDP itself admitted at the end of the day had been mistake-ridden?
No, I'm afraid time has not been on my side. You take me off and bring me in to offer, but it's okay. I'll take it from where the last person spoke. 16 years and no difference, or 16 years that was better or worse. I will allow those who have been in PDP to explain or to challenge him sometimes in the future. But what I can say is that we have drifted deeper down the cliff since the time of God. We have drifted down. Look, in the health sector, and I am being objective, it's not about being in the opposition. These are things that I've expressed without being in PDP. In the health sector, as we speak, we have had more doctors leave the shores of Nigeria in the last 3 years than we have ever had. Our doctors are everywhere all over the world because the conditions for acting, for carrying the adult duties are not there. In the education sector, things have gone down the drain. Yes, we have had token here and there, but what is important is that the most important ingredient of nationhood, unity and cohesion, is not there. Everybody is talking about their section. Everybody is afraid of traveling on the roads of Nigeria. It wasn't this bad. If anybody wants to compare the era of PDP and APC, then we must be objective. It's not about being in opposition. Was it this bad? I asked you the other time. So whoever is going to call, whoever is going to talk about it, must first answer this question. Was it bad? Was it difficult to travel from Abuja to Akure and not be afraid? Was it difficult to travel from Abuja to Kaduna and not have your heart in your mouth? Are we just playing politics with the future of this country? Swaths of land of Nigeria have been taken over by bandits, by terrorists, by all kinds of lawless parallel forces. And we have a government that's just idling away. Is this bad? Is it a country that we voted to be part of?
Okay.
Don't let us be sentimental about it.
So,
things are bad.
Okay.
And just before you cut me off, what I must say is this: it is not just about the party or parties now. What are the options for Nigerians? We must boot out this current era. And alignment of forces is the only way. You cannot go and bring a small party now and say you want to get to the presidency. You must align with the viable option, and that is the truth. Except if we are comfortable with where we are. That is why it's okay. Let us leave it. But I am not comfortable. A number of Nigerians who are not comfortable, youths, the intelligentsia, labor, must redefine their position and align, join forces, and make sure that we get this government out. But in doing so,
okay,
we
Mr.
Akinsola, just anybody.
As you said that time, wasn't favoring you, I let you go on there. So thank you, and indeed you shall add more. Taking this perspective of yours, it's an opposition perspective, but then we want to hear it, and it is your right to express it. But stay with us, please, because we're going on a break, but we'll be right back to continue with the conversation of the Zenith Labour Party merging into the main opposition, PDP. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and we're speaking with Eni Akinsola, who is a media consultant and a close associate of Governor Mimiko, former Governor Mimiko, although he has stressed that he's not his spokesman, but then he's also a keen observer of what's going on. In fact, I believe that Eni Akinsola was, if I'm not mistaken, Chief Press Secretary to the former governor at the time. So coming to you, Eni, again, because I wanted to give you time. You had made the remark that, we're not coming to you, and we appreciate that you have to also go on elsewhere. So we'll come to you. And yes, you were making the point. You were making the point about, especially not so much you as ZLP itself as it then was making the point that there was a need to rescue Nigeria. Now, I wanted to go back to the observation that you've also heard. PDP was in there for 16 years. They didn't get it right. Could you just say to me, how can anybody expect anything different now?
Thank you very much. I will ask the man on the street the question. Did you fare better under the PDP? If yes or no, take your action. I will ask the person who uses gas now and used it then, how is it with you now? And this is not politics. We are talking practical realities on the street. I'll ask the man who commits between and justice.
This is inflation. This is inflation. It could have happened under anybody, especially the glass.
Listen.
Or you are saying that the management of the PDP, the economic management of the PDP, is such that we wouldn't have these inflationary challenges that we have now?
Apart from if you compare 16 years and 6 or so years, the gallop, the difference is such that is unimaginable, and it's not global, because people will just argue there is a global reality of inflation. No, global food prices have not galloped the way it has galloped in Nigeria. So let us get that. Then we'll talk of insecurity.
And PDP also never had a COVID pandemic to deal with.
But I just told you that if we were going to act on a global level, pandemic affected all of us, but prices did not jump all over as it's a jumping in Nigeria. So take that and let us assess it from that position. Or else, I said, prices did not gallop elsewhere like in Nigeria. Insecurity did not gallop elsewhere as in Nigeria. If you go to the east now, you can't travel from one state to the other without praying or even getting your way prepared. Things are so bad. Was it this bad? But my point is this. Yes, mistakes were made in the past, and we had demonization of the incumbent then. There was a deliberate misrepresentation of facts by forces within the ruling class, such that Jonathan must go at all costs, performing or not performing. So I am saying that our own argument now is not that Goodluck must go performing or not. Buhari must go performing or not performing. Buhari is finishing his term. He has not performed well. We cannot reward those who enable these years of non-performance. We cannot reward them with continuous term in office.
Okay, so this would be your pitch. I beg your pardon. This would be your pitch, or at least a part of it, to the electorate for consideration and action at the on polling day, effectively. Right? What you've just done is that you've honed the opposition sentiment that, quite frankly, everybody is aware of. And I would be surprised if you didn't put it like this. You sort of are not touching on the many, advances that the ruling party touts. You are not touching on that, but then again, that's your prerogative.
Time is not on my side. And I must maximize the little time you are giving me.
Okay.
The opposition, the ruling party should get to speak about his token. And one of these tokens is that they've been touting is the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And I tell you, my brother,
all right,
it's ridiculous for anybody to tout the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as an achievement. We've been on it for ages, for eons, and we've not been anywhere near ended. Is that an achievement that is worth touting?
But that started back in the PDP era. You will agree. But
yes, we have had 6. Listen, my brother. Listen, you have had 6 years of the government that says, "I am going to change it. I have the magic wand." And what you have is not magic wand. It's retrogression. That is my point.
One moment, please, while I take a caller. You know the way our program works. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. I got to take a caller now. Mr. Joshua in Irewale. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. And I greet your guest.
Mr. Eni Akinsola remotely, and Mr. Liborous Oshoma in studio.
Okay, Uncle Yori, thank you. Uncle Yori, I want to say emphatically that it is now very clear to me that our politicians are very, very ignorant. They don't even know, they're clueless. That's the truth. You know, the fact is this. When a government is formed, you say APC has won the presidency. The truth is that the opposition itself is in government. I don't know why these people are so ignorant. The opposition, there are some PDP governors, and some states have the entire structure to be. And then you have APC. Don't they know that it's the same government? We have a problem with our people. Feeding with ignorant information, right? As far as I'm concerned, we have to sit down as Nigerians and discuss the nation Nigeria. We need to go beyond these politicians. Whether you are APC or PDP, they are wasted people. Let us move forward with national dialogue to talk about how to rescue Nigeria. They don't think about Nigeria. These politicians are fortune seekers. They jump here and there, doing everything. PDP is better than APC. Where?
Okay, but we still have to work through our politicians. You agree? There's no. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Joshua Irewolide.
Sorry, thank God.
Yes.
Mr. Joshua took it, from my mouth. What PDP is saying, they are not saying, look, we are good, they are saying we are bad. The APC, we are bad, APC is baddest. So
that's your read again.
That's my reading, yes, and that's basically what my friend is saying. Mr. Akinsola, that look, yes, we were not. It wasn't this bad. It was bad. It wasn't this bad.
It wasn't this bad.
But the question you will ask is, where was the economy in 1999 when PDP met it, and where did they leave it? Did they make it so good? That's why I said that if it was that good, we wouldn't have had the misfortune of facing this bad situation that we find ourselves. Okay. But that said, has PDP ever bothered to apologize for all of those things that they did in those 16 years? The answer is no. Now they come back to say we're trying to restructure. My only problem is I had expected that, look, APC, you had people in pre-2014, 2013, we had only one behemoth called PDP. But some persons, fringe parties came together and said, we want to give PDP a run for their money. Must you join PDP to give APC a run for the money? Why can't you put other smaller units together and say, since we've discovered that PDP and the APC are birds of the same feather, how do we align with the Nigerian people, the unbanked Nigerian people that are looking for hope outside of these two? Because for me, in as far as I'm concerned, they are what you call a Professor Ashburner's fluvial metaphor. Okay. They are the same waters.
One moment, please. I've got to take Reverend Dominic now. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori. Good morning, Liborous.
Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Now, you repeat myself. I've said it before. This wonderful platform you offered us, please don't bring politicians to it. Let politicians pay for their own thing. Because when they come, they will talk about their interest. Let me join the brother Joshua to say this. PDP have not let anything. Let me give you one point. One, the way Gamali left office as chairman, the way Aljobe left office as chairman, and the Sunday, all of them, now the last PDP chairman is living the same way. What stops the chairman to start and walk away? They are not let anything. I don't bother myself again about the politicians. Like what Liborous said, if PDP have done well, this shame we have today would not have happened. If they have given us a good governance, we won't change it. Let me say this. Before the 2014-15, put in record, PDP is already borrowing money to pay civil servants. It's on record. Okojiwala is alive today. Okojiwala told them to save. They took Okojiwala to court that they will never save in life. It's get money and share it. Okojiwala is still alive. I don't bother myself again. And let me say this. We marketed APC because of Buhari. Tell me how we're going to market PDP. Tell me one person.
Okay. All right then. All right then, Reverend Dominic. Thank you very much.
Let me just no.
One moment, please. One moment.
I just want to end my thoughts.
No, you will end. But you see, I've got to go back to
you stopped me halfway for Reverend Dominic to. So I just wanted to end my thoughts on this.
Eni Akinsola needs to get his voice in. Even though he has explained to us that he is not Mimiko's spokesperson, but at least he is close to the place and is speaking not necessarily for ZLP or the APC, I mean the PDP that now has swallowed willingly these guys. Because I know you have to get away, that's why I'm coming back to you, Eni. Would you like to
Thank you very
comment?
much. Yeah, my last take on this one. If we say that if we are comfortable with what APC is doing, then let us leave APC there. If you are comfortable.
Well, the word comfortable is probably not the word to use. I don't think the word comfortable is the word to use.
I am not comfortable.
People,
just hold on. I am not comfortable. Listen, just give me time. I'm not comfortable. I wasn't in PDP. I have just studied what is outside there. And I've said that, do I start with a new small party? And is it possible for me to work with a small party to achieve what we have to achieve? I say no for now. We have experimented it. We have tried fringe parties. 2, the issues at stake are so multifaceted. This time and this space is not enough for me to express all of them. For instance, the young man said, we do not trust anybody. Some of us believe that we must break down this Leviathan. But rather than do it the way of those who want Nigeria to break, we have recommended before, and these are things that are there for us to rediscuss Nigeria, reconfigure Nigeria. Those who are in power now said it, that they were going to restructure this country. I recollect them saying it over and over again, and people gave them the chance. But on getting there, what did they do? They destroyed the basic foundation of this country.
All right, then.
Please, I am saying, before I leave, I plead with Nigerians. It does not matter. Let Nigerians take their destinies to their hands. Let Nigerians take actions to see that which will pursue their interests to the best of the capacity of Nigeria.
Okay, I think that's well said. PDP, but I got to take another call. I beg your pardon for interrupting you, but it is the nature of our program that even those at home come into it. I just got a caller for, I think it's Larry in Ilorin. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Mr. Okoyori. Good morning.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, your guests and the 2 guests. Please, Okoyori, I would like the media to help us out, especially with this position that you bring online. We need technocrats, we need people that will tell us the right way. They are talking in both mouths. They are the same set of people. People that when people talking from both sides of the mouth. Came to power in 1999, the prices of things was not what they left it in, and when APC took over. So what are they coming back to tell us now? And they have not come back to apologize to us. Please, we should bring in technocrats and let people discuss about the future of this country, not this PDP, APC people that are the same thing. Thank you and good morning.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Everybody has a right to their own opinion.
And so, I would, like I was saying, I said, let me end my thought on that.
Yes.
You have PDP governors. I would have expected, you don't, they said a good stuffs sell itself in the market. You have PDP governors. How well are these governors different from the rest of the governors, the APC governors? Do you see any distinction to say, oh, this state is doing so well that these are the kind of governors that we want to have? Apart from
what is your answer to that question?
They are all the same. Apart
you are saying that they're all the same?
They are all the same. Apart from the same slogan of we are tying roads, we are tying road, we are paying civil servants salaries. Oh, we're up to date with salaries. So these are the...
You know, the terms in which we're talking, you know that the parties won't agree with you. Neither will PDP or APC.
That's why we are saying that they are the same. So the first thing is, if you want to rescue Nigeria, where I'm angry with is this: we want to come and rescue Nigeria. Nigeria was given to you before, and you pushed it down the cliff, and then unknowingly, Nigerians handed it over to this set of politicians. But do they some of them also who moved from APC, PDP into APC. Name the big names in APC today. They are They were all in PDP. Andy Ubada is the APC candidate in Anambra today. He was in PDP. He was in the administration of President Obasanjo for how many years? So the moment you change party, it means that the problem, you've changed your attitude. What it means is problem change name. So when you're coming to, the only problem I have is with the Nigerian people. Let us begin to wake up and wise up. If you do not participate in the process, you're going to have this ding dong between PDP and APC.
Okay.
And then they come, this one says we want to rescue, and then when they at the end of the day, they end up destroying what they meant, and then the other one will come again some years later, we want to rescue.
Okay.
If we participate
I
in
hear
the
you.
process.
Maybe just get a final thoughts from Mr. Eni Akinsola, who has to leave. Did you want to add anything, to this, Eni?
Yes, he asked a question, what have others done? And I will say this, I was in the Mimiko government for 8 years. The health sector became an example for Nigerians. And check, many international agencies came and saw what we did in the health sector. We started what's known as free maternal and child, infant and maternal health in Nigeria, free, including cesarean section. We started what we call the mega school system, where education was made free, cheap, and in modern atmosphere for both the children of the rich and the poor. We did not talk about roads. Roads were not, we were looking at those things that would change the quality of life of people. So there were differences, but I would say this, I wasn't in PDP all the 16 years. So most of the things you are talking about, I know them. But I am saying that, are you better? Are you comfortable with what is there now? If you are comfortable, all well and good. But for me, I am not comfortable. We need to do a thorough overhaul of the system. And we have found that the only way to do is for us to align with other forces. A small party will find it difficult to uproot the behemoth called APC in the next few years. But if we can call forces together, rather than ask people to stay away from partisan politics, let you, the technocrat, let those who know better.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Mr. Eni, okay, thank you very much.
I'll find some other time.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much, Eni Akinsola, political observer, close to former Governor Mimiko, and as he corrected, is no more the national leader of, ZLP, because now it's collapsed itself into the PDP. And they spoke about the need to rescue Nigeria, which has been challenged, vigorously, not just by Liborous, but other people as well. So our thanks to Mr. Eni Akinsola for making time for us this morning. If there's a bit more time, we can take some calls coming in, but Liborous is still really going strongly. You think that the PDP has learned nothing?
They have learned nothing. They do not even believe that they make mistakes. To me, this is arrogance. It's like, oh, if you are comfortable with the way things are. We all know we are not comfortable. But we were not also comfortable with the way things were under PDP. And so that pushed us to where we are now. We are still not comfortable. Are you now telling us that we should go back to that same place we were not comfortable with because you are not better off than you are now? For me, it's arrogance. Nigerians should, from today, mark my word, from today realize that the arrogance of the two major political parties and the politicians generally, if care is not taken, will destroy this country. So what we do, Nigerians, with the time to begin to take their destiny in their hands is now. If you sit down and fold your hands and expect that the Messiah will come from nowhere, it will not come. It will be it will continue to oscillate between these same politicians. The only way you can rescue Nigeria truly, it's for us as people to come out massively. The way we troop out to revivers, today is last Friday of the month. I can tell you, a lot of people today will be going to seek solution in churches, political solutions that your thumb can give you. You go to church, you go to mosque. The way we troop out to revival, First Friday service, retreat, and the rest, let us troop out to vote in elections.
And for that matter, somebody observed incongruously the way we supported Big Brother Niger.
Exactly.
If only people would
follow
all of that.
Follow politics like that. Yes. That is the
Benjamin in the UK. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Larry.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
I'm a follower of your program. I always like your program every time. But one thing I feel about most of your analysis when they come to your program, they always follow, what they always come to do is just to, to punish the political people in Nigeria. Look at Ogun State. I don't even think they have governor in Ogun State. Look at as well as
how can you say that?
Of
course we have a governor in Ogun State, but it's okay. We understand your meaning.
Ogun State is the last state in the western region.
Okay, well, thank you very much for calling in. He just criticized what analysts come to do on our program, and pretty much
at the end of the day, said the same thing that analysts come to say. So that's why, for me, I am not bothered about the politicians because I'm not expecting anything from them. They say, "Blessed are those who are not expectant, for they shall not be disappointed." So, me, I am disappointed in the Nigerian people, and I have consistently said it.
But you've also sent out advice to them this morning that this is the time.
Section 160 of the 1999 Constitution empowers INEC to employ any method without intervention from anybody or the president, to employ any method to conduct election. As I speak now in Anambra, they had said they are going to use electronic transmission of results. So if that was what we were waiting for, now the Constitution has empowered INEC to employ electronic transmission of results. So that should give us confidence in the process that, look, let us all come out the way we support Big Brother, the way we go to churches and mosques, and participate in the process. That is the only way we will not be hearing this. We want to rescue Nigeria from the people that have destroyed it. You can't destroy something and say you want to rescue it. You have no solution to it.
Leave it. That's where we're going to have to leave it. I want to thank you very much, Liborous, Oshoma. And also thanks to Mr. Eni Akinsola, who joined us remotely via Zoom. And indeed, thanks to you that called in as well to weigh in on the matter. So that's our program. We don't do weekends, as you know, so the next program is going to be Monday, God willing, when we'll see you again. I'm Yori Folarin. Do have a great weekend.